what happens when we subtract integers that have opposite signs. And they're a little bit too big for a number line or for our little discs. So what I'm going to introduce to you is something called add opposite sign. So when I look at this here, I have negative 18, or sorry, a positive 18 minus a negative 12. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the opposite sign. In other words, I'm going to add, and this sign is negative, I'm going to make it positive. So now I happen to have 18 plus a positive 12. So I'm going to go 18 plus 12, 8 plus 2 is 10, carry the 1. So 18 minus a negative 12 is actually, another way to look at it is 18 plus 12, and that will give us 30. Now if I have two numbers that look like this, negative 47 minus 15, I am now going to have a negative 47 and a positive 15. I'm going to add the opposite sign. So that was a positive 15. Now I'm going to change it to a negative 15. And if we remember back to our adding two numbers that are the same, we simply take these two numbers, 75 and 15. We add them together. That's 7 plus 5, which is 12. Carry the 1, which is 1 plus 4 plus 1, which is 6. So that's 62. But since both of these are negative and we're adding two negative numbers together, it's going to be negative. Now what happens when I subtract two numbers that are both positive? I'm going to do the same thing as I did in the previous one. I got a positive 13, negative, or positive 21. I'm going to add a negative 21 to that. So I'm going to add the opposite sign. So now when we have adding two numbers that are different, we take the farthest one from 0, in this case 21, and we're going to subtract it from 13. So I have 1 minus 3. I can't do that, so I have to borrow. So I have 11 minus 3, which happens to be 8. And 1 minus 1 is 0. But this guy here is the farthest from 0, so it happens to be a negative. So this is a negative 8. And if I look over here and I have negative 18 minus a negative 11, I add the opposite. And in this case here, now I have negative 18 plus 11. So let me rewrite that as negative 18 plus 11. The signs are different when I'm adding. So I'm going to go with a negative 18. That's farthest from 0. And I'm going to subtract 11 from it. And that's going to be equal to 7. But since my 18 is negative and it's farthest from 0, that's going to actually be a negative 7.